Greetings friends, Ben here. So I thought I'd record this little video, which is a kind of direct consequence of my conversation with Ben earlier. Another Ben, not with myself. In that conversation we were talking about procrastinating. We're talking about not committing to the work that's important, avoiding the work that's important. I was reminded of an interview between Steven Pressfield and Tim Ferriss, I listened to a while ago. Steven Pressfield was talking about shadow work which is somehow, similar to the work that we're really kind of wanting to do, really intending to do, but equally a little bit different, just the other side of the line. And I was kind of feeling, I've been producing a lot of these videos, a lot of these recordings over the last weeks to talk to people that I, will be working with, might be working with, entrepreneurs, change makers, people doing work which is important to them. And I've been using these videos to talk about, selling and marketing and doing and all of these sorts of things. But somehow I kind of know in my heart that this is the shadow work. Yeah, it's important. There's some important stuff in there, doing work which is enjoy and also work which I can earn money from. But also it's a little bit of shadow work in there. This, this sort of touching on, talking to, a wish, a desire to perform, to preach, to talk, to convert, to persuade. That's actually what sits in my heart, really. This is what I'm kind of moving to. This is what's kind of bubbling up inside. Kind of feel a deep yearning for a need for transformation, a need to change, a need to kind of reach inside to the belly of the beast, the belly of my beast, and touch that kind of raw wound, which is the source of change, the source of what comes next. All my life, all my working life, I've worked in pursuit of change, constantly tinkering with things, constantly changing things, constantly coming up with new ideas, new iterations, new businesses, new projects, new things to throw myself into. And then all of my kind of energy and my effort, of which I have huge resources, huge wells rather, of energy and effort to apply, lending all of this creative energy, this desire, breathing it into new projects, breathing it into new ideas. And all of this somehow talks to the shadow work idea a little bit. I was also watching a documentary called The Work, which is essentially about a group therapy session that happens in Folsom Prison in California, I think, a maximum security prison, where over 4 intense days, these big, hardened men reach down inside the depths of their psyche to go to the kind of rawest, most vulnerable places that they have kind of built huge, violent, strong, robust barriers to avoid, going back to their childhood. Dip in, reach in, touch this raw place as a point of transformation, as a point of change. This speaks to me really profoundly. This idea that in our heart, at our heart, we have this wound, we have this raw place, this sort of well of opportunity, that if we have the bravery, the courage, the vulnerability to reach in and touch, to reach in and feel, it can be a point of transformation for us. And this, I think, talks to the work that I'm interested in. How to reach in and find this place, how to use our own vulnerability as this source of transformation. Was talking today about wabi-sabi, the beauty of beautiful imperfection in its simplest form. I've always kind of had this idea in my mind about the beauty of a kind of crooked tree, a tree which looks fully kind of sort of in all of its sort of regal beauty, the beauty of a tree with its curling branches, its leaves sprouting, But somehow at the heart, somewhere hidden from initial view, is something crooked, is something a little bit broken in this tree. And that little bit of broken, that imperfection, that beautiful imperfection, like the wound with the guys working in Folsom Prison, that wound is a point of transformation, is a point on which we can spin, is a point on which all sorts of change can thrive, can grow and thrive. Now, I need this personally. I need to tap into this transformation. This is a source of great opportunity for me. And I feel we all need it. We all need it. We all need to reach in and touch this place. You know, particularly now, we're coming out of a pandemic, a viral pandemic. But we're out of that pandemic, but we're still existing in myriad other pandemics. Pandemics of stress, pandemics of anxiety, an ecological pandemic, social pandemic, political pandemic, shifting sands, the whole kind of structure that our economy has been based on for 50, 60, 70 years. Shifting, changing, being challenged like nothing before. The ecological systems on which we exist, shifting, changing like never before. Yet we kind of hold on, addicted, stuck in the patterns that created that scenario, stuck with the ideas that kind of built up all of those problems. And it feels to me that our only opportunity to get out, to get beyond, to go beyond, is to reach in and touch the wound, to reach in and touch this vulnerability, this point of weakness. Because if we do, we can then spring out of that and enjoy a change that follows. And like I said, this is, you know, a personal journey to go on. It's a group journey to go on. You know, lots of individuals talk about personal change and those kind of journeys. But I think, you know, and I've explored all of this for years and years and years, but it feels to me actually the change only really comes when you really are open to and admit that vulnerability. And if that's true for us individually, it's true for our companies too. Companies spend huge amounts of time and effort and energy and resources trying to change, trying to shift. But maybe they're looking in the wrong place. It's constantly looking for a new thing when actually they should be looking for their point of most weakness. They should be looking for their most vulnerable point, the weakest point in the system, and step into that. And out of that point, the change will occur, whatever the change is required for the company, whatever the change is required for you, for the individual. And by the same extension, maybe the change that we need on a bigger social level happens the more we step into the wound, the more we step into the weakness, the more that we step into the vulnerability. And this is the work I'm interested in. This is the journey I would like us to go on. And this is my first sharing of that story.